Hello and welcome. Today we are talking about this particular instrument here. This is a Getzen trombone from the 1950s. And it's a bit of an interesting instrument, but before we dive into that, let's talk a little bit about the Getzen company. Founded in 1939, the guy that founded it, whose name was Getzen, left the Holton company and started off his own company, which he decided to call Getzen. And that theme of somebody leaving an existing company to start their own company doing the similar thing as what they did in their old company is a reoccurring theme with Getzen. It happened sort of 3 or 4 times with other Getzen employees where they also bore the Getzen name and then went off and started their own company. We look at the DEG company, which the G stands for Getzen, and we can see another example of that sort of thing. So loyalty to the family probably wasn't the best, but I'm just sort of extrapolating, I guess. So they started making trombones in 1946, and this trombone here was made somewhere in the 1950s. Not exactly sure of the date, so I'm just going to say in the 1950s. And it is a bit of an interesting trombone. It is a, what does it say on here? It says it is a tone balanced, super deluxe Getzen, made in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, I believe is what WIS stands for, but that is the stuff that it has around the bell. Around the bell, you say? Doesn't it have its brand name stamped on the bell? Well, no. It has a copper tone ring. So this is a ring that runs around the bell, thought by some to be just a design element, but thought by others to introduce some solidity to the sound and improve the playing characteristics of the instrument. Right next to this copper tone ring, the brass rim doesn't have a bead in it. It is just sort of crimped flat. So it gives you sort of a bit of an interesting design element. But engraved around the rim are those various words that I mentioned before. Getzen, Elkhorn, WIS, tone balanced, super deluxe. So it has those things written around it. The design itself, you can see that it's got these curved braces here. These aren't round pieces of brass either. These are hexagonal pieces of wire, tubing, well, not tubing because it's solid, but it's hexagonal pieces of brass that are put into these curved shapes and creates a bit of an interesting design. We've got 3 different types of materials in use here. We've got the nickel silver here, we've got the copper here, and we've got the brass here. The slide continues with this 3-tone design where we've got the nickel silver up here. The tubes for the slide are also nickel silver with a brass hand piece here for the brace, and then the bottom, watching I'm not going to hit anything, the bottom has got this copper design again. So that 3-tone design goes, you know, throughout the instrument. If we look at the hand brace around near the goose pipe, which is this bit here where we hold it, you can see that we've got another one of these curved hexagonal pieces of metal. We've also got a thumb ring that our thumb goes into, and then on the bottom of the slide grip just here we've got this little hook here which is designed for you to rest your pinky. So it's designed to be quite an ergonomic trombone. Unfortunately, my mitts are quite substantial in size and don't fit very comfortably in here. I'd ideally like this up a bit, and I'd like this sort of further away in my life, but it exists, that's where they are. And so that's about, you know, the interesting elements of this trombone. Cosmetically, it's not in brilliant condition. If you look up close, there's a lot of tarnishing on the metal. The slide itself is probably only a 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. It moves quite smoothly up in the first few positions, but it is noticeably loud, and then when you get down to sort of 5th and 6th, it has definitely got a lot of resistance down there. But if you're playing higher notes, then it's perfectly playable, although, you know, you can tell that it's an older instrument. I bought this trombone because it was advertised as not working, and I thought it would look fantastic on my wall of many things, and I was just delighted to find that it actually sort of can function. Yes, so I shall finish this video with a bit of a tootle. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.